Someone once told me they knew everything about you, Alicia. They said they spent a fortune digging into your past, and every dollar was worth it. Now, at 44 years old, Alicia Keys has finally spoken out about the two men who shaped her entire music journey. These weren't just mentors, they were gatekeepers. They held the keys to her success, and for over 20 years, she couldn't break free. The first man was Clive Davis. He discovered her when she was barely an adult. He turned her into a superstar, but reports suggest he also controlled everything: her sound, her image, even her silence. Please welcome the incredible Alicia Keys. Hi. The second man was Jay-Z. He came into her life later, publicly supporting her while industry insiders whisper about what really happened behind closed doors. I'm here to honor one of the greatest to ever do it. And before anything, I was a true fan of your music, Jay. For 2 decades, sources say, Alicia played a role she was never allowed to escape. Today we're uncovering the story she kept hidden. Let's dive in. Her childhood struggles. Alicia Keys was born Alicia Augello Cook on January 25, 1981, in Hell's Kitchen, New York City. Her mother, Teresa Augello, worked as a paralegal and sometimes acted in small roles. Her father, Craig Cook, was a flight attendant. They split up when Alicia was just 2 years old. After that, her mother raised her alone in a tiny one-room apartment in Manhattan Plaza, a building for low-income families. Money was tight. Life was hard. When Alicia turned 7, her mother signed her up for piano lessons. Teresa believed music could save her daughter from the dangers of their neighborhood, and she was right. Alicia wasn't just good at piano, she was extraordinary. Her teachers were shocked by how naturally talented she was. Music became her safe place, the one thing in her life she could control. She spent hours every day practicing pieces by Beethoven, Chopin, and Mozart. Her mother also introduced her to jazz, soul, and R&B. All of these styles started blending together in Alicia's mind. By age 12, Alicia was writing her own songs. She combined her classical training with modern soul music. She attended a performing arts high school in Manhattan, studying voice and theater. At 16, she graduated at the top of her class. Columbia University accepted her, but by then, Alicia had already been discovered. A manager found her when she was just 15 and got her signed to Columbia Records. She became one of the youngest artists ever signed to a major label. I left high school early, so I was about 16. I had a record deal. I was signed to Columbia Records, and I was also accepted to Columbia University. Wow. But analysts believe Columbia Records almost destroyed her career before it even started. The Columbia Records nightmare. When Alicia signed with Columbia at 15 in 1994, she thought her dreams were coming true. Columbia was massive. They had power, money, and connections. They could make her a star, but instead, they tried to erase who she was. Executives wanted her to straighten her hair and wear it long and flowing. They told her to put on short dresses and lose weight. They wanted her to look like every other pop star on the radio. They completely misunderstood what made Alicia special: her authenticity, her classical skills mixed with urban soul, her refusal to be just another product. Even worse, Columbia didn't want her writing her own songs. They brought in other writers and producers, ignoring her own music. They dismissed her vision completely. Alicia hated going to the studio. She later said she used to drive there with a pit in her stomach, knowing she wouldn't be respected. And then Columbia messed it up, and I know they regret it to this day because they did the same thing to Aretha Franklin. For 4 years, from 15 to 19, Alicia fought with Columbia. She refused to record songs she didn't believe in. She refused to become the fake pop star they wanted. Finally, in 1998, Columbia dropped her. It could have been the end, but instead, it became her escape. Clive Davis steps. During those difficult years at Columbia, Alicia had been quietly building relationships with other people in the industry. She worked with producers like Jermaine Dupri and met Clive Davis, a legendary executive who was launching a new label called J Records after leaving Arista. Clive saw something in Alicia that Columbia completely missed. He saw an artist who could change R&B forever by bringing real musicianship, honest lyrics, and authentic emotion to a genre that had become too fake and overproduced. In 1998, Alicia signed with J Records, and Clive gave her something Columbia never did: freedom. She could write her own songs, produce her own tracks, and be herself. Well, how proud you must be. Very proud. Yeah, you knew right away, didn't you? Well, she's a no-brainer. She has stunning beauty. She writes all her own songs. She's really the most gifted young female talent around. Free from Columbia's restrictions, Alicia poured everything into her debut album. She wrote songs about abandonment, survival, love, and finding herself. Finally, she was becoming the artist she always knew she could be. Jay-Z and Empire State of Mind. In 2009, Jay-Z dropped one of his biggest songs ever, Empire State of Mind. But here's something most people don't know. Alicia Keys wasn't supposed to be on that track. The songwriters, Angela Hunta and Janet Sewell Ulepik, originally wrote the hook with someone else in mind. Industry sources suggest Mary J. Blige was Jay-Z's first choice. She even performed an early version live before the official release. Eventually, Jay-Z changed his mind and called Alicia. But even that didn't go smoothly. In a 2023 interview, Alicia admitted Jay had a hard time reaching her, and he almost gave up completely. I actually had to record it a couple of times. The first time I recorded it in LA, and it just didn't work. I thought it sounded good, but he called me and said, "You think you're going to be able to do those vocals again?" And I was like, what? Once Alicia joined the song, the industry moved fast. The track went 9 times platinum. It won 2 Grammys. It was performed at the World Series and the VMAs, and it became the anthem of New York hip-hop for a new generation. But behind the success, rumors started spreading. Some insiders believed Jay-Z pushed for Alicia not just because of her voice, but because of a growing personal connection between them. She wasn't signed to Roc Nation. She wasn't Jay's artist. But somehow, she was now tied to him forever through one of the biggest songs in his career. At the same time, Alicia was still under Clive Davis's guidance. He signed her, shaped her debut, and was known for controlling every detail of his artist's public images. And that's where Jaguar Wright's accusations came in. Jaguar Wright's explosive claims. Jaguar Wright didn't hold back when she went public with allegations about Alicia Keys. She accused Keys of having an affair with Swizz Beatz while he was still married, claiming Alicia had a pattern of getting involved with men who were already taken. According to Wright, Keys stole Swizz Beatz from his wife and caused serious pain and chaos in their lives. Wright also mentioned a man named Antonio Gordon, claiming both she and Alicia had dated him. Wright said Alicia treated Gordon badly and left him emotionally damaged. She alleged that Gordon found Keys in bed with another man, which ended their relationship. In her rant, Wright suggested Alicia's actions were influenced by Clive Davis. She claimed Davis pressured Keys to go after her, threatening her career if she refused. This paints a picture of an industry where artists are controlled and forced to follow the agendas of powerful men. Wright didn't stop there. She also attacked Alicia's public image, accusing her of pretending to be someone she's not just to maintain her career. Wright suggested Keys hides her true self, including her sexuality, by involving herself in high-profile relationships with men. Wright even recalled confronting Keys at B.B. King's, mocking her appearance and challenging her to a physical fight. Meanwhile, Alicia stayed silent. She didn't respond to Jaguar. She didn't push back. She just kept performing, winning awards, and staying perfectly on brand. But the timing was suspicious. The Empire State of Mind collaboration happened just as Alicia's mainstream fame exploded. Fans couldn't help but notice how quickly she went from R&B newcomer to industry centerpiece, surrounded by 2 of the most powerful men in music. Alicia's version says Jay-Z couldn't reach her. Jaguar's version says he never had to, because Clive made sure the decision was already made. Clive Davis, the man behind the curtain. Before Alicia Keys was famous, she was a teenager with a demo and a dream, and the man who took control of that dream, who shaped everything from her first single to her public image, was Clive Davis. Clive had already made legends: Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Janis Joplin. When he found Alicia, he didn't just sign her, he built her from scratch. Well, she's a no-brainer. She has stunning beauty. She writes all her own songs. She's really the most gifted young female talent around. But what Alicia calls support, others call control. She was just 19 when she signed with J Records. Clive didn't let her original album go out as planned. He had it re-recorded, repackaged, and delayed. Sources say he insisted on softening her sound, polishing her tone, and pushing her into a more commercial lane. Her braids, piano, and modest clothing gave her a safe, respectable image. Her lyrics focused on empowerment and heartbreak, but never rebellion. Critics noticed the pattern. She wasn't raw like Lauryn Hill. She wasn't flashy like Beyoncé. She was calm, controlled, and protected. And analysts believe that wasn't by accident. Some artists complained that Clive played favorites, pouring resources into Alicia while quietly sidelining others. When Jaguar Wright later claimed Clive used Alicia as a weapon, positioning her for success while blackballing others, those same industry rumors resurfaced. What's clear is that Clive didn't just promote Alicia. He curated her. He managed her debut rollout like a political campaign. No scandal, no surprises, just talent, polish, and media-friendly charm. That control went beyond music. Alicia rarely spoke out on industry politics. She avoided rap beefs. She didn't comment on the treatment of black female artists. And for years, she stayed quiet through public accusations, whispers of backdoor deals, and gossip about her relationships. Some believe that silence was part of the strategy. They say Clive trained her to be unproblematic, an artist who would never challenge the system because the system had already worked in her favor. She didn't have to demand a seat at the table. The seat had already been saved for her. Even when rumors linked her to Jay-Z or accused her of being part of Clive's industry games, Alicia stayed out of it. No denials, no clapbacks, just silence. And in an industry full of noise, silence can be the loudest response of all. By her mid-20s, Alicia was everywhere, performing at the Grammys, appearing on magazine covers, hosting global events. And Clive was still right behind her, introducing her at award shows and attaching his name to every milestone she reached. To some, it looked like loyalty. To others, it looked like dependence. And now, as she stays silent while people like Jaguar Wright accuse Clive of manipulation, critics are asking a tougher question. Was Alicia Keys ever truly in control of her own career, or did she simply learn to survive by letting powerful men make all the decisions? The Swizz Beatz scandal. In 2008, while Alicia Keys was at the height of her success, rumors began spreading about a relationship with producer Swizz Beatz. The rumors were shocking because Swizz was married to singer Mashonda Tefrere, and they had a young son together named Kasim Jr., born in 2006. Swizz and Mashonda got married in 2004. From the outside, they looked like a happy hip-hop power couple, but behind the scenes, reports suggest their marriage was already falling apart. And Alicia Keys was about to become the most hated woman in R&B for her alleged role in its collapse. Alicia and Swizz had known each other for years. They worked together on music projects. Swizz produced tracks for her albums, and they moved in the same industry circles. But in 2008, their relationship reportedly changed from professional to romantic. The exact timeline is still unclear, with different people offering conflicting stories about when Swizz's marriage actually ended versus when he and Alicia became involved. What's confirmed is that in 2009, while Swizz was still legally married to Mashonda, he and Alicia were publicly together. They were photographed at events and were clearly in a serious relationship. Swizz had also fathered a daughter named Nicole with British singer Jonna Sebastian in 2008, suggesting his marriage to Mashonda had been troubled for some time. In May 2009, Mashonda took to Twitter to publicly air her pain. She accused Alicia Keys of being a homewrecker and helping destroy her marriage. So you did see the credit card statements? I will say I did. That's true. And it matched up with the tour Alicia Keys was on, and you were like, but you didn't suspect anything was going on between them before that? Nope. So it was a complete shock. Mashonda wrote that Alicia had no idea how much pain she caused, that the affair had devastated her and her young son. The accusations went viral, taking over entertainment blogs and gossip sites. For the first time in her career, Alicia faced massive public backlash. Many called her a hypocrite who sang about self-respect and female empowerment while allegedly stealing another woman's husband. "I got more takes on you, Alicia Keys. Alicia fraud. Alicia, I'll do anything to not look gay, so I'll steal a woman's husband and separate a family." Alicia stayed silent at first. She refused to engage in the public drama or defend herself against Machanda's accusations. Some saw her silence as guilt. Others saw it as dignity and a refusal to feed the media circus. Swizz Beatz denied that Alicia broke up his marriage. He insisted he and Machanda were already separated when he started dating Alicia. He claimed the media exaggerated the situation and that Machanda was hurt, but the timeline wasn't what people believed. In later interviews, Alicia admitted that when she first met Swizz years earlier, she hadn't been attracted to him. She found him too flashy. Their connection developed slowly over time, she said, and by the time they became romantic, she believed his marriage was over. Whether that belief was real or just convenient, self-deception remains up for debate. Marriage and blended family. Despite the controversy and public hatred, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz moved forward. Swizz's divorce from Machanda was finalized in 2010. On July 31, 2010, Alicia and Swizz got married in a private ceremony on the Mediterranean Sea. Alicia was already visibly pregnant. She had conceived their first child before the wedding. On October 14, 2010, she gave birth to their son, Egypt Daoud Deen. The name Egypt came from the country where Swizz proposed. It also reflected Alicia's interest in African culture and spirituality. In December 2014, the couple welcomed their second son, Genesis Ali Deen. The blended family situation was complicated. Swizz had 3 children from previous relationships, and Alicia became stepmother to all 3. The children call her Ummi, which means mother in Arabic. Years after the initial scandal, something unexpected happened. Alicia, Swizz, and Machanda reconciled. Each of you, one word to describe your blended family. Flow, my inspiration. Victorious. In March 2018, they released a book together called Blend, The Secret to Co-Parenting and Creating a Balanced Family. The book detailed their journey from anger and pain to forgiveness and cooperation. It was praised for its honesty about the challenges of co-parenting and the work required to move past betrayal. Photos surfaced of the trio vacationing together with all their children, showing a modern family dynamic that prioritized the kids' well-being over adult egos. However, in 2025, new controversy erupted. Rumors surfaced claiming Swizz had cheated on Alicia and fathered a child outside their marriage. The rumors spread fast on social media, and many pointed out the irony. The man Alicia allegedly stole from his first wife was now reportedly cheating on her in the same way. Both Alicia and Swizz publicly denied the rumors. Swizz called them completely false and emphasized his commitment to his wife and family. Whether the denials were truthful or just damage control remains unclear. But the speculation proved one thing. The shadow of how their relationship began continues to follow them, even 15 years later. Her legacy and where she stands today. As of 2025, Alicia Keys is 44 years old. She remains one of R&B's most accomplished and respected artists. She has sold over 90 million records worldwide and won 16 Grammy Awards. She's not just a singer anymore. She's a pianist, songwriter, producer, actress, and now a Broadway composer. Her influence on R&B and pop music is undeniable. Alicia brought classical musicianship back to mainstream R&B at a time when the genre was dominated by programmed beats and minimal live instruments. She proved that audiences wanted authenticity, emotional depth, and real musical skill. She paved the way for artists like Her and countless others who blend genres and prioritize musical craft. Her success as a self-contained artist who writes, produces, and plays instruments on her own records challenged industry norms. She inspired a generation of women to demand creative control instead of accepting whatever producers and labels offered. But even with all her success, one question still lingers. Was Alicia Keys ever truly free? Or was her entire career shaped by the two men who held the power, Clive Davis and Jay-Z? Some say she thrived because of them. Others say she survived in spite of them. And now, at 44, Alicia has finally started to speak. But is she telling the whole truth? Or is there still a secret she's been protecting all along? That's it for today. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Love can do that.